Hello and welcome back. We are here with another week of our William Penn Coaches Show. Joining us here first tonight is our head coach for men's and women's cross country, along with assistant coach for men and women's track and field, Coach Caleb Drake. Okay, so to start out here, Coach, can you kind of just give us an overview of how your indoor season went and then lead to the outdoor? I know there's only been 2 meets so far, but kind of just how that's been going so far.
Yeah, I guess it's been that long since we've been here. So indoor ended really well. We broke on the men's side, broke every school record from the 800 up to 5K in both relays in the indoor season, and then on the women's side, both the 4x8 and distance medley relays. We scored more points than any other middle distance group in the conference at our conference meets, which led us to a third place finish, which was great. And then at the national meet, we had to pick and choose actually what options to run at the national meet, which was fun. You know, decided on the 4x8 or the DMR and some individual events for some different individuals as well, and came out with our first ever All-American for 800, or really 800 and up. In school history and indoor in Brandon Williams. And so it was just a really nice way to end the indoor season. Brought some great momentum into our outdoor season. And weather's been the theme for outdoor so far. First meet canceled. Second meet was good weather, but it was in our opener. So weren't expecting to do anything too crazy there, but we did have a school record from D'Artagnan in the 3K steeplechase. And then last weekend we had some stiff wind, but really good performances last week across the board. I felt like both on the men's and women's side we competed really well, and we ran to our potential last week's meet. So good stuff heading into tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, and then kind of going off your first answer there, if any, what kind of improvements have you seen and do you want to see here as you transition from the indoor to outdoor?
Yeah, so the main thing we've been talking about in our middle distance group is the word embrace, and we really just want to embrace who we are. And right now we're really we've been the heart of our team, specifically on the men's side because of how we led the team in our indoor season. But just embracing that we're progressing forward and embracing that we should be at the top of our heats and at the top of some of the meets that we go to and trying to win, whether it's the event as a whole or just winning our heat that we're running in, and just embracing that that's where we're at right now, and just going and attacking that, and just living into the hard work that they've put in our training. Let it translate into our meet days.
And I know just before we got on the air here, we were kind of talking about the Drake relays and how you said you might run just the relays there. How do you kind of go about in your season, whether you guys are going to run like some of the solo events or if you just want to run the relays as a team?
Sure. Well, the nice thing is there's a bigger meet that happens parallels Drake relays, which is great. It's also the week before conference, and so how that plays into our season is we don't want to wear ourselves out the week ahead of conference, so it kind of works out in our favor. So we can choose, if we want to just run 1 or 2 relays on either the men's or women's side if we make it in, and then that translates really well training-wise and physically just being ready for conference the next week. So really the week of Drake, we'll decide, do we go try to run a PR in a certain event, or do we need someone to try to qualify for conference? If they do that, they go to the meet that parallels the Drake relays. And if we're already set kind of nationally maybe if for a qualification or for a conference, then we'll just go run a relay. So I'll be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards the men's DMR right now on Saturday morning. But we'll see. We'll see what the guys want to do ultimately.
Yeah, and off that, one of the guys is D'Artagnan Beaver. He's been incredible this entire year for your team. What do you see in Dart that kind of separates him from the rest of the competition in the field?
Well, he kind of hates to lose more than anything, and we saw that last week in the 5K. Even it was tough. We're not really training for 5,000 meters for him. His focal event's the 3K steeplechase, and so even in that race to go out and win that event and push through 30-mile-per-hour gusts at times in that race was great. But I think for him, the first thing that really separates him, or I wouldn't even say separates him, but just solidifies or distinguishes him is his faith. He has a deep faith in Jesus Christ, and that really just guides what he does in his life. And then from that, I think that groundedness that he has, it allows him to run really free. And he does that on our campus really well too. He's involved in a lot of things. He's a young man of character. He's a leader, that just plays really well into his running. So I think that he's also just fun. I mean, he is a lot of fun. He calls himself Bucket Hat Billy. So I mean, a guy that calls himself Bucket Hat Billy likes to have some fun too.
Definitely likes to have some fun. No, we had him in our office just like a week ago talking to the Win One lady for her podcast, and definitely great insights from him, getting to learn about him a little bit as we were listening to that. And so just kind of with that, you talked about how he just likes the team atmosphere, running, involved in a lot of things. How is the team chemistry for your runners during the season?
You know, that's really what we're built on, and I think that's what we'll continue to build on as the team grows and as we develop our culture on the team. And, you know, having someone like him helps a lot, but the culture, the seed bed, if you will, the soil was already ripe for that when he came in. And so the guys and the girls on the team, they care about one another. It's a lighthearted environment. We care about each other. I care about them. They know that, and it's even further than running. It's more than that. We don't just run, and that's what defines us. So we're in a great spot right now. We're not at the goal yet, but we're working towards those things. So we're in a good place culture-wise, but more to come.
And again, as we're working towards the end of this season there, how are we gearing up for conference? I know we talked about some of the relays, kind of getting those down and kind of using those as a block or a step towards the next goal. But just what are we doing as a team to kind of get ready for that last conference tournament?
Yeah, so we've got, I think, about 3.5 weeks now before our conference meet. And so the first third of our season, we've really worked on just strength as far as in our workouts. And now we're transitioning more towards speed. So we'll do some different things, like our workout yesterday and the day before was really based on speed and getting some sharpness, is what we call it, in running. And so we'll work on that now the rest of the way. And then in our meets, we'll go into those. We'll be confident. We'll compete hard. And then we'll really just work on tactics. And so can we go into a race and maybe the third lap of a 1,500 or the third 200 of an 800? Focus on that. How do we want to run that and help us improve in our running and really be ready to go run a tactical race maybe at conference to go try to squeak into top 8 or win or whatever that might be.
And then lastly here, just last question for you. What can we expect out of this weekend for your runners?
Well, we'll see what the weather does. It's supposed to be kind of windy tomorrow and die down in the evening, but we're hoping for a school record on the men's side in the 1,500. We'll see if we can get that down to the 800 as well, but PRs is what we're looking for, really. I think we're in a place right now where both the men's and women's side, lifetime bests, I think, can happen this weekend. We're supposed to have the best weather we've had all season on Saturday, and so we'll see what we can do there. I know that even on the rest of the team, we have a thrower that's really close to qualifying on the men's side, and just some jumpers that are poised to hit really well. The wind's going to play into that a little bit tomorrow, but Saturday, I think we'll have some good weather for the whole team, distance and even the sprinters and throwers, to do really well.
All right, well, once again, thank you for joining us out here. Very fun talking to you and some great insight about what to come during this season. So, again, good luck tomorrow, and we'll be right back here with our next guest at the Wood Iron Grill. And we are back here with our second guest of the night, the head coach of the men's volleyball team, Luke Bentley. First off here, congratulations on your team winning their first ever Hart men's volleyball regular season co-champions. Kind of just tell us, how's the team feel about that and what's it mean to you?
Yeah, thank you. We're excited. Obviously, first time in program history. We're in our 5th year, so to do that, and we play in a pretty tough conference, so the ability to win the regular season and kind of just show how much hard work they've put in and to get where we're at right now is obviously exciting. I think it lasted about 2 hours, and then we moved on and getting ready for the tournament. So, yeah, it's exciting to think about, but we got a couple important matches coming up, so I think the guys are looking forward to that.
Yeah, and getting to that tournament, you guys are going to be able to host your first game of that tournament, the Hart Conference semifinal game. And as a home game, it is a great advantage, but as a coach, how much do you actually take into the factor of it, whether it being a home or away game? And do you believe there's truly a difference in those games when you're on the road or whether you're at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone would prefer to play at home. I used to think there was more of a home court advantage, but when you are playing, everyone you're playing is in the top 15 in the country, and our conference is so good. it's really tough, regardless if you're home or away. We've won some really good ones on the road. We lost a tough one at home last week. So, yeah, there's an advantage, but at the same time, I think whoever's the better team that day is probably going to win. So we have to be ready to go. It's always nice to play in front of our crowd. Our guys love playing in the pack. So it's definitely nice to be home, but at the same time, we're going to prepare the same way, and I think the mentality has to be the same.
And I know after that last game, you guys had the women's wrestling team come in the locker room, and they kind of shot off with some celebration things, and I think they're your brother and sister program, right? Yeah. So have you guys done anything else besides them coming in the locker room, whether it be around campus or playing games together?
A little bit, yeah. We went to both of their home duels this year. They had an incredible season, finishing 4th at the national tournament, 3 national champions. So, yeah, we've had some nice camaraderie with them. I think it's kind of a cool situation because they're in their 4th year, we're in our 5th year, so both younger programs on campus. Yeah, it's been really fun. Their head coach, his office is right next to mine, so we get to see each other's players a lot and stuff like that. So it's been really nice, and they're super supportive. So really appreciative of the girls' support and them showing up. They were all at our game last Friday too. So yeah, it's been really nice.
Kind of just switching topics here, but 2 games ago against Grandview was the senior night for your men's volleyball team. You guys have a lot of seniors. I know they've been here throughout pretty much the entirety of the program. Can you guys just speak to what that meant to the program and what they mean to you?
Yeah, it's really hard to put into words in a short amount of time. We had 10 seniors we honored, and that's a really big class, the most we've ever had. Some of them are 5th-year players, some are 4th year, and yeah, it's difficult because a few of those guys have been with us from the beginning. I've never been the coach at William Penn without them on the roster, kind of thing. So it's really hard to know that this is their last go-around at it. But it's also really exciting. It shows the growth that we've had. It shows the commitment for those guys to still stay with us in today's day and age of how everyone is so willing to transfer and leave. We've had incredible retention to keep all those guys. A lot of those guys haven't played a lot. If anyone knows our sport, we don't rotate a lot of players. It's not like basketball or something like that where a lot of guys get in. So it just shows their commitment and how much they buy into what we're trying to do. So it was a special night despite the loss. But yeah, really cool to honor them, and I'm really proud of them and really excited for what the future holds for those guys. But yeah, it's an emotional time, and it'll be really emotional in a month when they graduate, but also really exciting too.
Really exciting because I'm sure they have a lot of energy right now as we go into postseason play. It's going to be their last time playing in the Hart tournament, along with the chance to go to a national tournament. Can you kind of just speak to what the energy is in practice right now as we head into this postseason?
Yeah, our biggest thing right now, we're trying to focus on just the competition aspect. We need to do everything we can in practice to kind of simulate the game. I just mentioned how good the competition is. We're hosting a semifinal, but the team we're going to play will be a top 10 team probably, and it'll be the same thing in the finals. So, yeah, there's no day off for us, and we have to do that every day in practice, and so we'll try to do that as much as we can, tomorrow and next week. Yeah, I think the guys are ready to go. They're excited, and as long as we can continue to get better every day, I think we'll be all right.
Speaking of practice, is there anything that you guys are really changing about practice at all? I know you don't want to change too much as you go, but just kind of postseason play, is there anything you're doing differently maybe?
No, besides what I said, we're at the point now in a season where we don't really have to learn anything new. We're not implementing anything different. It's just about raising the level of play every day, and how can we push ourselves and kind of advance in any aspect of the game. Or any aspect of our program. We had a meeting yesterday, and we went through and kind of graded out every area of where we're at. We talked about, what do we need to be at to be a conference champion? What do we have to be at to be a national champion? And what are the steps to get there? So we've kind of laid some of that out for them, and that was a really good conversation yesterday. So I think as long as we know where we're going, how to get there, hopefully the guys can kind of follow through on that. And at this point, that's all we can do. We're just getting ready to make the next step and win one more game.
say maybe you don't have a specific preference, but I know the game is between Park and Mount Mercy. You guys have split with Park this year. Is there maybe a preference that you have on who you want to play?
No, like I said already, it doesn't matter at this point. Everyone's really, really good. So there's 6 teams in the tournament. All 6 are ranked in the top 15 in the country. You're getting someone good. Doesn't matter who it is. And like I said, doesn't matter for home or away. So, yeah, we expect a really good battle on Wednesday. I really don't. I'm not trying to get out of the answer. I just don't have an answer. I've been asked that before. The answer is we don't want to play anybody because they're all good. So someone else would be nice. But, yeah, the situation just is the way it is. And so we're going to take it head on. And, yeah, whoever we get, hopefully we come out and play hard.
All right, well, good luck as you head into that postseason play. And we'll be right back here with our next guest. All right, we are back out here, and we are with our third and final guest of the night, the head coach for Shotgun Sports, Steve Heaton. Coach, the last time we had you out here to talk, it was right before you guys head down to Texas for ACUI Nationals. You guys placed 3rd out of 7 teams, and it was in that conversation you told us you were moving them to the Division I category. And so how did you feel that the team performed in the Division I category and just overall?
Before we get started on that, I want to give a hats off to our transportation department. Once again, they're very under the radar, but them guys came through because we didn't get out of the Nationals at San Antonio on Saturday night at 7:30, and I had to have them back in class by Monday. Brad and his team met us in Oklahoma to bring the kids home. So hats off to our transportation department. So they're huge, I mean, for all these teams out there. So, but for Nationals, the kids, they fought. I mean, D1, we went against A&M, Clemson, all them guys. They fought clear to the last day. So it was amazing to watch that 6 days of shooting. They fought hard. It was cool to watch.
And then with the fighting hard, you guys placed top 4 in all 6 of the divisions that you guys were in. What did the team kind of prove themselves and maybe give themselves more confidence as the tournament went on while performing against those top schools?
This team doesn't need the confidence because they already have it. Just to give you a heads up or an idea, the top 5 teams in D1 were separated by 37 targets out of 3,000. So when you're shooting 600 targets per individual, have 3,000 for your team, and 37 divides the top 5 teams, that's pretty tight. So it just comes down to Mother Nature, the hydration part of it, just the focus. The confidence is there. I mean, every one of these kids on this team have the confidence. So it just comes down to who got lucky.
And then for some who may not know, as they're all focused shooting at the targets, what is kind of your job to go around and just give them tips, tell them what you're seeing, or?
No, actually, shooting sports is a little bit different. We're not allowed to coach. I can coach them in the morning before we get off the bus and stuff like that. But when they're in the middle of a tournament, if we get caught coaching, I get disqualified. The whole team does. So it's kind of a little bit different. So it's a lot amongst themselves to push each other, which they did good. We talked about, what to focus on for the day, or, during lunch or something. I might slip something in there, give them a little heads up. But other than that, it was the team pushing each other. You can ask any of the athletes. I mean, I've never seen a team bond like they did this year, so it was cool.
And as you talked to them in the morning there, what was kind of your message to them before they started, maybe just their own message to themselves?
Every one of them, you can ask them. You can ask Kaylin over here. She's out here working tonight. She's one of my top female shooters. They had a job to do. So when they got off the bus, didn't you, sis? You had to do your job when we got there, right? See? They know they had to get their job done. So it was no hype speech or anything like that, just like, let's go to work.
Okay, so now as we switch over topics here, get a little more personal as it is. So a few weeks ago, it was posted on our socials. You're going to be retiring here at the end of the school year. What kind of led to this decision for you?
I've been doing this for 17 years at the Shotgun Sports level. Last year, I realized I couldn't give them what they needed. You know what I mean? These kids are at such a high level. I couldn't give it. Kendra's over here going to start crying. It's time for somebody else to take over. get some young blood in there, they'll let them take over. So.
And as you get some new and you'll be retiring, what is kind of maybe some of the memories that you have and what you miss the most?
You don't want to know about some of those memories. No, you don't. Every trip we take, we make a memory. If there's a team out there that's not making memories, you better change your ways because you got to make memories.
So as this program started about 4 years ago, and you've been in charge since the program started,
Yep.
What is kind of the culture that you have instilled in this program?
Get to work. You got to do your job. Every team out there, there's not a team at William Penn that can't win a national title if they do their job. That's it.
Fully agree with you. And then to cap this kind of off here, what has been your favorite thing about coaching here at William Penn and just being the leader of this shotgun sports team?
I love the support that William Penn gives us, give me the freedom to do what we wanted. When Nick hired me, I told him, he said he'd give me 5 years to be a top-tier team. I think we did that. William Penn is definitely on the radar now, on the map for top shooting teams. I don't really know. I mean, there's so many memories out there. It was just so much fun. But it's time for it to move on.
All right, well, thank you so much for what you have given the Shotgun Sports program here. I mean, 2 national champions, been so good to us, and we appreciate all that you've done here as the coach of the Shotgun Sports team. So with that, thank you for joining us here on the William Penn Coaches Show, and we'll be back next week.